Have you ever felt trapped in a heated argument with anger boiling inside you and every word only making things worse? We've all been there, whether it's a confrontation at work, a clash with a loved one, or even an online debate that spirals out of control. In moments like these, it feels like the only way to win is to fight back harder. But what if I told you there's another way? A way that doesn't just settle the argument, but transforms it into an opportunity for true inner mastery. The ancient Stoics, from Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, were masters of this approach. They knew that the greatest victories in life aren't won through force, but through wisdom, patience, and control. In this video, I'm going to reveal 13 Stoic secrets to overcoming your enemies without raising your voice or your fists. Each of these techniques will help you conquer conflicts with grace and turn even the toughest opponents into stepping stones for personal growth. So if you're ready to unlock the path of the Stoic warrior, let's dive in. Secrets 1. Enter the mind of your opponent, an unexpected journey of understanding. Picture this. You're in the middle of a tense team meeting at work. Your idea, which you've spent weeks perfecting, has just been presented. You believe it's a game changer. But suddenly, a colleague named James, known for his aggressive demeanor, interrupts you. His voice is sharp, almost dismissive. "I don't think that'll work. We've tried similar ideas before, and they failed." The room goes silent. You feel your face getting warm, your heart rate quickening, and a familiar wave of frustration rising. You're tempted to fire back and defend your hard work. But before you speak, a quote from Epictetus echoes in your mind. "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our interpretations of them." At that moment, you decide to pause, take a deep breath, and apply the first Stoic secret: enter the mind of your opponent. Real life shift in perspective. Instead of letting James' comments trigger a defensive response, you lean back slightly, keeping your voice calm. You start to wonder, what's driving his reaction? You remember that James has recently been under pressure to deliver results quickly. Could his response be more about fear of failure than a direct attack on your idea? You decide to approach this with curiosity instead of confrontation. With a neutral tone, you ask, "James, can you share more about what specifically didn't work before? I'd love to understand your perspective and see if there's a way to address those concerns in this new approach." James pauses, caught off guard by your calm response. He wasn't expecting you to show interest in his viewpoint. His body language softens and his voice loses its edge as he explains. "Last time, we didn't have enough resources, and the timeline was unrealistic. I'm just concerned we might repeat those mistakes." Suddenly, the atmosphere in the room changes. It's no longer about your idea versus his critique. It's about finding a solution that works for the team. By entering James's mind, you've shifted the dynamic from confrontation to collaboration, uncovering hidden motivations. This approach doesn't just neutralize potential conflict, it reveals valuable insights. You realize that James' resistance isn't about dismissing your idea, it's about his fear of repeating past failures. His aggressive tone was a shield, a defensive mechanism born from previous setbacks. By understanding this, you've turned an adversary into a potential ally. Imagine how this small shift could play out in other areas of your life. In relationships, when your partner snaps at you for coming home late, consider what underlying fears or unmet needs might be driving their reaction. Is it really about the time, or is it about feeling unimportant? In social settings, during a heated political debate with a friend, try to understand why they hold their views so strongly. Is it based on personal experiences, cultural influences, or fears about the future? This technique can be transformative in any situation, allowing you to see beyond the immediate words and actions to the motivations that drive them. The story of Marcus Aurelius and the general hang. To make this even clearer, let's dive into a historical example from Marcus Aurelius himself. During his reign as Roman emperor, Marcus faced rebellion from one of his most trusted generals. The general, feeling overlooked for a promotion, decided to ally with Rome's enemies, leading a significant uprising. Many of Marcus's advisors urged him to retaliate with force, seeing the rebellion as an unforgivable betrayal. But Marcus, true to his Stoic principles, chose a different path. He sought to understand the general's grievances. Marcus arranged a meeting, not to demand surrender, but to listen. He asked questions, acknowledged the general's frustrations, and even admitted that perhaps the promotion process could have been more transparent. This approach didn't just prevent further bloodshed, it brought the general back into Marcus's fold. The general, deeply moved by the emperor's empathy and humility, returned to serve Rome with renewed loyalty. Marcus had used the first Stoic secret. He entered the mind of his opponent, turning a potential enemy into an ally. Practical takeaway: understanding over confrontation. So how can you apply this Stoic secret in your everyday life? Ask questions before defending. Instead of immediately countering someone's criticism, ask them questions. Try, "What's your biggest concern here?" Or "What would make you feel more confident about this?" Look for hidden fears or needs. When someone seems overly aggressive or defensive, consider what might be driving that behavior. Are they afraid of failure, rejection, or losing control? Maintain neutral body language. As you ask questions, lean back slightly, keep your arms uncrossed, and maintain steady eye contact. This shows you're open to dialogue, not ready for a fight. By embracing this Stoic principle, you can turn potentially hostile situations into opportunities for deeper understanding, stronger relationships, and ultimately a more peaceful life. But this is just the beginning. Stay tuned for the next Stoic secret, where we'll explore how to choose your battles wisely and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Remember, it's not always about winning the argument. It's about winning in life. Hit that like button if you found this story insightful, and subscribe for more Stoic strategies that will transform the way you handle conflict. Secrets 2. Choose your battles wisely. The art of strategic retreat. Imagine this scenario. You're attending a family gathering, and everyone is having a good time. Suddenly, your uncle starts making provocative comments about a topic he knows you're passionate about. You can feel the heat rising inside you. Part of you wants to fire back and prove him wrong, show everyone that you've got the facts to dismantle his argument. But then you remember the second Stoic secret: choose your battles wisely. You pause, taking a deep breath, and ask yourself, is this battle truly worth my energy? Real life shift in perspective. You glance around the room and see your family enjoying themselves. Do you really want to turn this pleasant gathering into a heated debate? Is winning this argument going to add value to your life, or is it just going to create unnecessary tension? With a calm smile, you respond with a neutral phrase. That's an interesting perspective, Uncle. We might not agree on this one, but let's save the debate for another time. By doing this, you avoid conflict, preserve the peaceful atmosphere, and demonstrate a sense of maturity. It's not about backing down, it's about strategically retreating to maintain harmony and focus your energy on what truly matters. You've shown the strength of restraint, a hallmark of Stoic wisdom. The story of Seneca and the courtroom drama. Let's take a historical look at this principle. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, was once accused of conspiracy by his political rivals in the Roman court. The accusations were false, and Seneca had every reason to fight back with all his rhetorical skills. But instead, he chose silence and a calm demeanor, simply stating, "I cannot control others' opinions of me, but I can control my reaction to them." Seneca realized that engaging in a public verbal battle would only fuel his enemy's agenda and drain his energy. He knew that defending his honor in this particular courtroom would be more damaging than beneficial. By retreating and focusing on the bigger picture, his philosophical work and personal growth, Seneca demonstrated the true power of choosing battles wisely, unpacking the hidden benefits of letting go. When you let go of insignificant battles, you achieve more than just peace of mind. You conserve your energy for the conflicts that truly align with your principles and long-term goals. Imagine how this plays out in various aspects of life. In relationships, your partner criticizes the way you load the dishwasher, but instead of arguing, you think, is this really worth escalating? You smile, adjust a few plates, and let it go. This small act of restraint preserves harmony and focuses the relationship on more important discussions. At work, a colleague makes a snide comment during a meeting. You feel the sting, but instead of reacting impulsively, you ask yourself, will engaging in this battle benefit the project or just my ego? You choose to stay focused on your goals and address the issue calmly later if needed. Online debates. Someone leaves a negative comment on your social media post. You feel the urge to respond with a sharp retort, but you pause and think, will winning this argument make a difference in my life? Most of the time, the answer is no. The stoplight method, a practical tool for real-life decisions. To help you apply this Stoic principle, use the stoplight method in situations where you're unsure whether to engage in a conflict. 1. Red. Stop. If the conflict is trivial and does not align with your core values, stop immediately. Let it pass and move on. 2. Yellow. If the conflict has some importance but doesn't require an immediate response, pause. Take time to consider whether engaging is truly beneficial or just a reaction to provocation. Reflect on your long-term goals before deciding. 3. Green. Go. If the conflict aligns with your values and has a significant impact on your goals or relationships, engage, but do so thoughtfully and strategically. Using this method will help you distinguish between necessary battles and distractions. It's not about avoiding conflict altogether. It's about engaging only when it truly matters. The energy you save can be redirected towards growth, creativity, and meaningful victories. Applying the Stoic secret in your daily life. Here's how you can bring this principle into your everyday routine. Create a battle filter. Before reacting to a conflict, ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? If the answer is no, let it go. Practice delayed response. When faced with provocations, give yourself permission to step away and reflect before responding. This not only preserves your peace, but also often disarms the other person. Reframe your mindset. View restraint as a form of strength, not weakness. Remind yourself that choosing not to engage is a conscious decision rooted in wisdom, not fear. By choosing your battles wisely, you become more efficient in dealing with life's challenges, focusing on meaningful conflicts that align with your true purpose. The Stoics believed that the strongest warriors are those who win without unnecessary fights. The bigger picture. Imagine yourself as a general commanding an army. You wouldn't send your troops into every minor skirmish. You'd reserve them for the most critical battles. This is exactly how you should treat your energy and attention. By letting go of minor conflicts, you have more resources for the battles that truly shape your life. So the next time you're faced with an argument, ask yourself, is this a skirmish or a war worth fighting? This small question could save you from countless unnecessary confrontations, preserving your focus, energy, and inner peace. Stay tuned for the next Stoic secret, where we'll dive into how to speak softly but with strength. The art of maintaining calm yet powerful communication in the face of conflict. If you found this story and strategy helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Stoic Mindset for more practical wisdom that helps you master life's challenges with grace and clarity. Secrets 3. Speak softly but with strength, the art of calm authority. Imagine this. You're in a crucial meeting, pitching a new project idea that could significantly impact your company's success. You've prepared thoroughly and you're confident, but as you finish speaking, one of your colleagues, Sarah, interrupts in a sharp tone. This approach doesn't make sense. We've never done it this way before, and I doubt it'll work. The room goes silent and all eyes turn to you. You feel the pressure building. Your instinct is to defend yourself with equal force. But then you remember the third Stoic secret. Speak softly, but with strength. Real-life shift in communication. You take a deep breath, steadying yourself. Instead of snapping back, you maintain eye contact, lean forward slightly, and speak in a calm, firm voice. I understand your concerns, Sarah, and I appreciate you sharing them. Let me explain why this approach could address the challenges we've faced so far. With this measured response, you've done 3 powerful things. 1. Acknowledged her viewpoint, showing that you're not dismissive. 2. Maintained composure, demonstrating self-control. 3. Redirected the conversation, focusing on facts rather than personal attacks. The atmosphere shifts from tension to open discussion. Sarah, taken aback by your calm response, listens more attentively. Others in the room also start nodding in agreement, sensing your confidence and control. This is the Stoic way. using calm words to diffuse conflict while reinforcing your authority. The story of Marcus Aurelius and the hostile senator. To further illustrate this principle, let's revisit the life of Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor of Rome. During one of his Senate sessions, a senator publicly criticized Marcus's decision on military funding. The criticism was sharp, bordering on personal. Many of Marcus's advisors expected him to react with authority and reprimand the senator. After all, as the emperor, he had the power to silence any dissent. But Marcus, a true Stoic, chose a different approach. He remained seated, his posture relaxed and voice steady. He calmly said, "If my decision does not serve Rome, then let us find a better way. I am open to discussion, for I serve the people, not my pride." His response stunned the Senate. By speaking softly but with undeniable strength, Marcus maintained control of the room, earned respect, and encouraged more productive dialogue. His calm authority didn't just resolve the conflict, it strengthened his reputation as a wise and just leader. The power of composed communication. Speaking softly doesn't mean being weak or passive. It's about maintaining a sense of control over your emotions and the situation. It's the calmness in your voice, the steadiness of your gaze, and the confidence in your words that define this Stoic skill. Think about how this can apply to different aspects of your life. In relationships, your partner criticizes you for forgetting to do something important. Instead of snapping back or retreating into silence, you respond with a gentle but firm tone. "I understand why you're upset. Let's talk about how we can avoid this in the future." You address the issue without escalating the argument. At work, during a performance review, your manager provides harsh feedback. You could feel defensive, but instead you maintain your composure. "I appreciate your honesty. Can you help me understand how I can improve?" This shows your willingness to learn while keeping the conversation productive. With friends, a friend accuses you of not being supportive enough. Instead of reacting impulsively, you calmly say, "I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's talk about how I can be there for you." This keeps the lines of communication open and shifts the focus to solutions. The 3 C's of speaking softly, but with strength. To master this Stoic principle, focus on the 3 C's: calm, clarity, and confidence. Here's how you can apply them. 1. Calm. Breathe deeply before you respond. A few seconds of silence can make a significant difference. Keep your voice at a steady, moderate volume. Raising your voice signals a loss of control, while maintaining a lower tone projects authority. Avoid rushed responses. Take your time to choose your words wisely. 2. Clarity. Be direct and concise. State your point clearly without unnecessary elaboration. Use I statements to express your perspective without blame. For example, "I feel that this approach could bring better results." Repeat key points to ensure they are understood. This reinforces your message and demonstrates confidence. 3. Confidence. Maintain strong eye contact. It shows sincerity and assertiveness. Keep your body language open. Avoid crossing your arms as it can signal defensiveness. Use pauses effectively. Silence can be a powerful tool, emphasizing your words and giving others time to absorb your message. The 3 C's aren't just communication tactics. They're the embodiment of the Stoic approach to authority. By mastering them, you project both strength and openness, making your words more impactful and your presence more respected. Practical takeaway: the balance of firmness and gentleness. So how can you integrate this Stoic principle into your daily life? Practice in front of a mirror. Rehearse speaking calmly but firmly. Pay attention to your tone, volume, and facial expressions. This helps you build muscle memory for real-life situations. Use a mantra. When feeling provoked, silently repeat a calming mantra, such as, "Calm is my strength." This reminds you to maintain composure. Stay solution-oriented. When responding to criticism, focus on finding solutions rather than dwelling on the problem. This shifts the conversation towards progress. By learning to speak softly but with strength, you can transform confrontations into meaningful conversations, whether it's with colleagues, friends, or family. This approach doesn't just win arguments, it builds respect, trust, and lasting influence. Why this matters. Imagine yourself as a lighthouse in the midst of a storm. No matter how strong the winds are, The lighthouse stands firm, guiding ships to safety with its steady light. Speaking softly but with strength is just like that. It's about being a calming presence that leads others through the storm of conflict, not adding to its chaos. Stay tuned for the next Stoic Secret, where we'll explore how to seek the hidden harmony, the art of finding common ground, even in the most difficult disagreements. If you found this strategy helpful, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Stoic Mindset for more practical wisdom that helps you master life's toughest challenges with resilience and clarity. Secrets 4. Seek the hidden harmony, finding common ground in conflicts. You and your spouse have been arguing about weekend plans for weeks. You want to stay in, relax, and recharge, while your spouse insists on going out to explore new places. Every conversation about this seems to end in frustration. But there's a way to resolve this tension by applying the 4th Stoic secret. Seek the hidden harmony. This principle is all about looking beyond surface-level disagreements to uncover shared goals and mutual interests. It's not about who wins or loses, but about finding a common ground that strengthens your relationship. Real-life shift in perspective. The next time the topic comes up, you decide to try a different approach. Instead of starting with your own preference, you begin by acknowledging your partner's perspective. I understand that you want to go out this weekend because you enjoy trying new things. I appreciate that adventurous spirit, and I want to find a way to enjoy the time together. Immediately, this changes the tone of the conversation. Your partner sees that you're open to their ideas, not just focused on pushing your own. With this softer opening, you then share your own needs. For me, relaxing at home is a way to recharge after a busy week, so maybe we can find a way to combine both our preferences. This shifts the discussion from being a tug-of-war to a cooperative effort to create a win-win situation. The story of Marcus Aurelius and the rebellious general. To further illustrate this principle, let's look at a story from Marcus Aurelius's reign. During one of his military campaigns, Marcus faced a rebellion from a group of Roman soldiers who felt neglected. Instead of responding with anger or harsh punishment, Marcus sought to understand their grievances. He invited their leader to speak freely and listened attentively, identifying that the soldiers' rebellion stemmed from a lack of supplies and recognition for their efforts. Instead of focusing on the rebellion itself, Marcus focused on the common goal, the success of Rome's campaign. He said, "Our ultimate aim is the same, to defend Rome and its people. Let's find a way to address your needs so we can achieve victory together." By seeking the hidden harmony, Marcus transformed rebellious soldiers into loyal allies. He found common ground and used it to create a stronger, more unified force. This approach not only resolved the immediate conflict, but also deepened the soldiers' respect for him as a leader who valued their well-being. The psychology of finding common ground. The Stoics understood a fundamental psychological truth. People are more willing to cooperate when they feel heard and respected. When you seek the hidden harmony, you're not just solving a problem, you're building a bridge. This principle applies in every area of life. In relationships, if you and your partner are constantly arguing about household chores, try to find a common goal. Perhaps both of you want a clean home but have different ways of achieving it. Start by acknowledging the shared desire and then work on a plan that suits both. At work, suppose a coworker disagrees with your strategy on a project. Instead of viewing it as a clash of egos, look for overlapping objectives. Are both of you aiming to boost sales or improve team performance? By aligning your efforts, you can create a stronger plan together. With friends, when friends have different opinions about social plans, focus on what everyone ultimately wants, a fun and memorable time. By keeping the shared goal in mind, you can suggest activities that accommodate various preferences. The WE method for finding common ground. To effectively use this Stoic secret, try the WE method, a simple 3-step process to identify and build on mutual interests. 1. Widen the conversation. Start by acknowledging the other person's perspective, even if you don't fully agree. Use phrases like, "I see where you're coming from," or "I understand why this is important to you." This shows respect and opens up space for collaborative thinking. 2. Explore shared goals. Ask open-ended questions to uncover common ground. For example, what do we both want to achieve here? Or how can we make this work for both of us? These questions shift the focus from individual needs to shared outcomes. 3. Establish mutual solutions. Propose solutions that incorporate elements from both sides. For instance, how about we spend Saturday exploring a new place together and then have a relaxed Sunday at home? This demonstrates flexibility and commitment to finding harmony. The WE method isn't about compromising your values, but about creating harmony where it may not seem possible. It allows you to address the underlying needs that drive conflict, paving the way for genuine cooperation. Practical takeaway. Make harmony your default setting. How can you consistently apply this Stoic principle in your everyday life? Ask, what's our shared goal? When conflict arises, pause and ask this question. It shifts your focus from winning to collaborating. Use reflective listening. Repeat back what the other person has said to ensure they feel heard. E.g., so, if I understand correctly, you're concerned about the timeline, is that right? Be willing to bend. Flexibility doesn't mean abandoning your principles. It's about adapting to find a solution that works for everyone involved. When you make finding harmony your default setting, conflicts transform from battles into opportunities for growth and connection. You become a person who seeks solutions, not just arguments, which strengthens relationships and builds trust. The bigger picture. Unity through diversity. Imagine life as a symphony orchestra. Each instrument has a different sound, pitch, and rhythm, but together they create beautiful music. Seeking hidden harmony is about finding that musical synergy in your interactions with others. It's about seeing conflict not as noise, but as an opportunity to create harmony that's richer and more nuanced. The next Stoic secret will teach you how to leverage core beliefs, using your opponent's values to turn conflict into cooperation. If you found this strategy helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with friends who need a little Stoic wisdom in their lives. Secrets 5. Leverage their core beliefs. Aligning with values for conflict resolution. You're in the middle of a crucial negotiation at work. The other party, let's call him Mike, has been stubborn throughout the entire discussion, unwilling to compromise. You can feel the tension in the room, and it seems like the deal is about to collapse. But then you remember the 5th Stoic secret. Leverage their core beliefs. Instead of trying to push harder, you decide to tap into Mike's values and use them to create a path forward. This principle is all about aligning your arguments with what truly matters to the other person, making them more likely to cooperate. Real-life shift in perspective. Mike has always emphasized fairness in past negotiations, so you take a moment to adjust your approach. With a calm tone, you say, Mike, I know how much you value fairness in business deals. That's why I think this proposal works, because it ensures transparency and equal benefit for both sides. Mike pauses. The mention of fairness resonates with him, softening his stance. Suddenly, the negotiation takes a different turn. By aligning your words with his core beliefs, you've shifted the conversation from conflict to cooperation. The story of Seneca and Emperor Nero. Let's go back in time to one of the most challenging relationships in Roman history, that of Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, and his student, Emperor Nero. As Nero grew more tyrannical, many advisors tried to confront him directly, only to meet harsh repercussions. But Seneca, knowing Nero's core desire for power and admiration, approached him differently. When Nero proposed a set of harsh policies, Seneca didn't outright oppose them. Instead, he framed his objections around Nero's own values of legacy and greatness. Seneca would say things like, Emperor, to be remembered as a wise and just ruler, we must ensure the prosperity of the people, not just their obedience. By appealing to Nero's desire to be admired as a great leader, Seneca was able to temper some of Nero's worst impulses. He used the 5th Stoic secret. He leveraged Nero's core beliefs to steer him towards better decisions, at least for a time. Understanding the psychology of core beliefs. People are more likely to accept arguments that align with their core beliefs and values. This approach taps into a fundamental aspect of human psychology. We all want to feel that our principles are being respected, not challenged. Here's how this plays out in various situations. In relationships, your partner values honesty above all. If you need to address a sensitive issue, start by saying, "I know honesty is important to you, and that's why I need to share something openly." This shows that you're not attacking them, but rather respecting their values. At work, you have a manager who highly values efficiency. When proposing a new process, emphasize how it can streamline operations and save time. By framing it this way, you align your idea with what they already care about. With friends, if a friend is health conscious and you want to convince them to try a new restaurant, you can say, "They have great healthy options that I think you'll appreciate." This shows that you're considering their priorities. The value method for leveraging core beliefs. To effectively use this Stoic principle, try the value method, a simple approach to identify and align with others' core beliefs. 1. Validate their values. Start by acknowledging what they care about. For instance, "I know you're really committed to fairness, and I respect that." This sets a positive tone and opens the door to alignment. 2. Align your argument. Adjust your message to match their values. If fairness is key, emphasize how your proposal maintains transparency. If loyalty is a priority, highlight how your approach strengthens trust. 3. Listen actively. Pay close attention to how they respond. Are they engaging more positively, or are they still resistant? Active listening helps you refine your approach based on their reactions. 4. Use their language. Mirror the words and phrases they use to describe their values. For example, if they often say, "It's about doing the right thing," use similar language in your discussion. 5. Emphasize mutual benefit. End by reinforcing how the solution benefits both sides. For example, "This way we both achieve what we value most, fairness and success." This keeps the focus on shared gains. The value method isn't about manipulation. It's about finding genuine ways to connect with others' beliefs, creating a bridge that makes conflict resolution easier and more natural. Practical takeaway: how to align, not argue. Here's how you can consistently apply this Stoic principle in daily life. Identify core values early. In any discussion, listen carefully to identify what the other person values most, be it fairness, loyalty, honesty, or efficiency. Frame your arguments thoughtfully. Before presenting your point, think about how it can be framed to align with their values. This increases the chances of cooperation and reduces defensiveness. Be sincere. People can sense insincerity. When aligning your words with their values, ensure that you truly understand and respect what matters to them. When you learn to leverage core beliefs effectively, you become more persuasive, not because you're overpowering others, but because you're connecting with them at a deeper level. You're not just finding compromise, you're creating true alignment. The bigger picture: unity through shared values. Imagine a rowboat with two rowers paddling in opposite directions. They won't get far, and tension will build quickly. But when both rowers synchronize, paddling with shared intention, the boat glides smoothly across the water. Leveraging core beliefs is about creating that synchronicity. It's about turning conflicts into opportunities for shared success. The next Stoic secret will focus on how to use humor as a tool, not a weapon, a powerful tactic that can disarm even the most stubborn adversaries. If you found this strategy helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Stoic Mindset for more practical wisdom that helps you master life's toughest conflicts with resilience and clarity. Secret 6. Use humor as a tool, not a weapon, lightening the load in conflict. You're having a tough conversation with a friend about a sensitive topic. The air is thick with tension, and every word feels like stepping on a landmine. You both feel the weight of the disagreement, and it seems like things could escalate at any moment. But then you remember the 6th Stoic secret: use humor as a tool, not a weapon. This principle teaches us to use humor as a way to ease tension, open dialogue, and create a more relaxed environment for problem solving without undermining the seriousness of the situation. Real-life shift in perspective. Imagine this scene. You're in the middle of a heated debate about politics with a close friend, Tom. Both of you are frustrated, voices are raised, and you can feel the friendship straining. Instead of trying to make your next point more forceful, you decide to break the tension with a well-timed, self-deprecating joke. I think we should both just agree to disagree, for the sake of our future campaign as co-presidents in 2030. Tom's eyes widen and a smile breaks through his serious expression. He chuckles and you both feel a bit of the pressure lift. It's not that you've resolved the disagreement, but you've created a moment of connection, a reminder that the friendship is more important than the argument. The humor acts as a reset button, allowing you both to take a step back, breathe, and find common ground. The story of Seneca and Emperor Claudius. To further illustrate the power of humor, let's revisit the story of Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, who was once wrongly accused of having an affair with Emperor Claudius's niece, Julia Livilla. The charges were serious, and many expected Seneca to respond with anger or stern defense. Instead, Seneca used humor to navigate the treacherous waters of Roman politics. When brought before the emperor, Seneca reportedly remarked with a wry smile, "Well, if I am guilty, it must have been without my knowledge, for I don't remember ever winning the lady's heart." His clever humor diffused the tension in the room and shifted the tone of the trial. While the humor didn't absolve him immediately, it disarmed the hostility and created a moment of levity that made his position more relatable, even in such a dire situation. This wasn't about making light of the accusations. It was about demonstrating composure and wit under pressure. By using humor as a tool, not a weapon, Seneca was able to maintain his dignity and disarm his accusers. Understanding the power of humor in conflicts. Humor is one of the most disarming tools in human interaction. It's a universal language that, when used correctly, can reduce defensiveness, shift perspectives, and open doors for deeper dialogue. However, humor must be used wisely, as it can easily backfire if it comes across as sarcastic, mocking, or dismissive. Here's how this principle can be applied in different areas of life. In relationships, you're having a disagreement with your partner about chores. Instead of arguing, you make a playful comment. "I think we should just hire a full-time cleaner. It would save our relationship." This joke, if delivered in a lighthearted tone, can break the tension and redirect the conversation towards finding a solution together. At work, you're leading a team meeting, and one of your colleagues makes a critical comment about your proposal. Instead of getting defensive, you respond with a smile. "Well, that's why I always keep plan B and C up my sleeve." The humor shows you're open to feedback and adaptable, making the environment more collaborative. With friends, a friend teases you about always being late. Instead of feeling embarrassed or getting defensive, you laugh and say, "I like to make a grand entrance. It's part of my charm." This not only deflects the criticism, but also shows that you can laugh at yourself, strengthening the bond. The haha method for using humor in conflicts. To effectively apply this Stoic secret, try the ha method, a 4-step approach to introduce humor without causing offense. 1. H. Humility. First, self-deprecating humor is the safest and most effective form of humor in conflicts. It shows you're not taking yourself too seriously and opens the door for others to relax. 2. Avoid sarcasm. Sarcasm is risky because it can easily be misinterpreted as hostility. Keep your humor light and positive, avoiding any jokes that might sound passive-aggressive. 3. Highlight shared humanity. Use humor to remind everyone that we all make mistakes and that conflicts are a natural part of life. For example, "Well, we've all messed up a few things, haven't we?" This approach creates a sense of camaraderie. 4. Assess the timing. Timing is everything when it comes to humor. Wait for the right moment, ideally when the intensity of the conversation has slightly subsided. A poorly timed joke can escalate the conflict rather than diffuse it. The ha-ha method ensures that your humor is constructive, not destructive, and that it helps to ease the situation rather than adding fuel to the fire. Practical takeaway: laugh your way to resolution. Here's how you can incorporate the Stoic principle into your daily interactions. Use humor as a pressure release valve. When conflicts become too tense, inject a bit. Practice self-deprecation. The safest form of humor is directed at yourself. It shows humility and makes you more approachable, encouraging others to let down their guard. Read the room. Before using humor, gauge the mood. If the situation is too tense, a joke might come off as insensitive. Wait for a moment when the intensity has slightly decreased, then introduce a light comment. Humor, when used correctly, can transform a heated argument into a more manageable conversation. It's a subtle yet powerful tool for conflict resolution, capable of bridging gaps and building rapport, even in the most difficult situations. The bigger picture. Building bridges through laughter. Imagine conflict as a narrow bridge over a deep canyon. It's shaky, unstable, and filled with tension. Humor is like adding sturdy ropes to that bridge. It helps you cross safely, even when the ground feels unstable. It's not about trivializing serious issues. It's about creating a shared moment of humanity that reminds everyone involved that conflict is only one part of the relationship. The next Stoic secret will focus on how to offer empathy, a powerful Stoic tool that can transform adversaries into allies. If you found this strategy helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with friends who might need a little Stoic humor in their lives. Secret 7. Offer empathy, the power of seeing through their eyes. Picture this. You're in the middle of an argument with your partner. Voices are raised, words are harsh, and the room feels charged with anger. You both feel unheard and misunderstood, and the conflict is only getting worse. But then you remember the 7th Stoic secret. Offer empathy. This Stoic principle isn't about agreeing with the other person. It's about understanding where they're coming from and acknowledging their emotions. By offering empathy, you open the door to healing, connection, and even resolution. Real-life shift in perspective. Let's say your partner is upset because you forgot an important anniversary. The natural response might be to get defensive. I've been so busy at work. Can't you understand that? But this approach only deepens the divide. Instead, you take a deep breath and respond differently. I can see how much this hurt you, and I'm truly sorry. I understand why this is so important to you, and I wish I hadn't forgotten. Suddenly, the atmosphere changes. Your partner's eyes soften, and you can sense a shift in the room. By acknowledging their feelings, you've shown that you're not here to win the argument. You're here to understand and reconnect. This is the core of Stoic empathy, seeing beyond the disagreement to the person behind it. The story of Marcus Aurelius and the grieving soldier. To illustrate the power of empathy further, let's explore a story from Marcus Aurelius's reign. During a campaign against the Germanic tribes, one of Marcus's most trusted soldiers broke down in tears after receiving news that his entire family had been killed in a raid. The other soldiers were stoic, in the conventional sense, and silent, unsure how to respond. But Marcus, the philosopher-emperor, approached the grieving man. Instead of offering empty words or advice, he simply sat beside him and said, "I know your pain. I too have lost those I love." Marcus didn't try to minimize the soldier's pain or distract him from it. He simply offered his presence, acknowledging the shared human experience of loss. By connecting through empathy, Marcus transformed the moment from one of isolation to one of solidarity, strengthening the soldier's resolve to continue fighting for the greater good. Why empathy matters in conflicts. Empathy is one of the most transformative tools in conflict resolution. It breaks down barriers, builds trust, and paves the way for genuine understanding. When you offer empathy, you're not surrendering your position, you're simply opening your heart to another person's reality. Here's how this plays out in different aspects of life. In relationships, you're having an argument about finances with your spouse. Instead of justifying your spending, you say, "I understand that money is a source of stress for you, and I want to find a way to manage this better together." By acknowledging their concerns, you turn an argument into a cooperative effort. At work, a colleague is upset because they feel excluded from an important decision. Instead of dismissing their frustration, you say, "I can see why you're upset, and I apologize if it felt like you were left out. Let's make sure we're all on the same page moving forward." This shifts the conversation from blame to collaboration. With friends, a friend is angry because you canceled plans last minute. Instead of making excuses, you say, "I know it's frustrating when plans change like that. I'm really sorry, and I understand if you're upset." This helps to de-escalate the situation and shows that you care about their feelings. The C method for offering empathy. To effectively apply this Stoic secret, try the C method, a 3-step approach for offering empathy in conflicts. 1. Stop and listen. Before responding, take a moment to truly listen. Let the other person express their thoughts and feelings without interrupting. This demonstrates that you're genuinely interested in their perspective. 2. Echo their emotions. Reflect back what you hear, using their words to show that you're on the same wavelength. For example, "It sounds like you're feeling really hurt by this, and I can understand why." This validation helps to reduce defensiveness. 3. Engage genuinely. After acknowledging their feelings, offer a sincere response that aims to connect. It could be an apology, a commitment to do better, or simply a kind word. The goal is to show that you care about the relationship more than the argument. The SE method is simple yet effective. It ensures that your empathy is felt, not just spoken, and that it serves as a bridge to better understanding and resolution. Practical takeaway: practice compassion over combat. Here's how you can bring this Stoic principle into your everyday interactions. Be present. Empathy requires your full attention. Put down your phone, make eye contact, and show that you're there, both physically and emotionally. Focus on understanding, not agreeing. Empathy isn't about surrendering your position. It's about showing that you recognize the other person's perspective. This makes them more open to hearing your side as well. Use nonverbal cues. Sometimes, a comforting gesture, a nod, or a warm smile can convey empathy more effectively than words. Pay attention to the other person's body language and match it with genuine concern. When you offer empathy, you transform conflicts from battles into opportunities for deeper connection and understanding. You're not just winning an argument. You're winning trust and strengthening relationships. The bigger picture. Empathy as a unifying force. Imagine a wall between you and the other person during an argument. Every word of anger adds another brick to that wall, making it harder to see and understand each other. Empathy is like removing those bricks, one by one, creating a window that lets in light. It doesn't mean you'll agree on everything, but it means you can see each other clearly, with compassion. The next Stoic secret will focus on how to embrace the art of compromise, finding win-win solutions that respect both sides. If you found this strategy helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with friends who might need a little more empathy in their conflicts. Secrets 8. Embrace the art of compromise, finding the win-win in conflicts. You're at a crossroads in a heated debate with your colleague, Linda, about an upcoming project deadline. She insists on pushing the timeline to an unrealistic date while you argue that it's better to take a slower, more methodical approach. Both of you are determined not to back down, and the tension is palpable. But then you recall the 8th Stoic secret. Embrace the art of compromise. Compromise, in Stoic philosophy, is not about giving in or sacrificing your principles. It's about finding a middle ground that allows both sides to achieve their core goals. This principle teaches us that compromise is a sign of strength, not weakness, and that it can transform stubborn standoffs into productive outcomes. Real-life shift in perspective. Instead of continuing to insist on your approach, you decide to take a step back and look for areas of overlap. You say to Linda, "I understand why meeting this deadline is important to you, especially given our team's reputation for quick delivery. At the same time, I want to ensure we maintain quality. What if we split the project into 2 phases? One meeting your timeline, and the other allowing more time for refinement." Linda's expression softens. She sees that you're not trying to obstruct her plan, but are genuinely looking for a way to make it work for both of you. This compromise not only reduces tension, but also keeps the project on track while maintaining quality standards. By embracing the art of compromise, you turn a potential impasse into a win-win solution. The story of Marcus Aurelius and the divided Senate. During Marcus Aurelius's reign, there was a critical moment when the Roman Senate was deeply divided over how to allocate resources for a military campaign. Some senators demanded more funds for immediate action, while others argued that funds should be reserved for long-term infrastructure projects. The conflict was intense, and it threatened to delay crucial decisions for the empire. Instead of siding with one faction, Marcus took a different approach. He acknowledged both perspectives and proposed a compromise. Let us allocate part of the resources to fortify our defenses now, while also setting aside a fund for future projects that will sustain Rome's strength over time. This decision did not fully satisfy either side, but it created a workable solution that allowed the empire to address both immediate needs and future stability. Marcus's willingness to compromise didn't weaken his authority. Instead, it showed his wisdom and strengthened the unity of the Senate. The power of compromise in everyday life. Compromise is often seen as a concession, but in reality, it's a form of strategic collaboration. It demonstrates flexibility, adaptability, and a genuine interest in mutual success. Here's how this principle applies in different aspects of life. In relationships, you and your partner have different ideas for a vacation. You want to relax at a beach resort, while your partner wants an adventure in the mountains. Instead of arguing, you suggest splitting the trip, spend the first few days at the beach and the remaining days hiking in the mountains. This compromise allows both of you to enjoy what you value most. At work, your team is debating whether to invest in marketing or product development. You propose a balanced approach. Allocate 60% of the budget to marketing to drive short-term growth and 40% to product development to ensure long-term success. This compromise keeps the team moving forward without alienating either side. With friends, your group is divided over where to have dinner. Some want Italian, while others prefer Asian cuisine. You suggest going to a fusion restaurant that offers both, turning a potential argument into a pleasant outing that accommodates everyone's tastes. The bridge method for effective compromise. To effectively apply the Stoic secret, use the bridge method, a 5-step approach to finding middle ground in conflicts. 1. Be open to options. Start by being mentally open to alternatives. Let go of the idea that there's only one right way to solve the problem. Show a willingness to explore new solutions. 2. Recognize the core needs. Identify what's most important to each side. Ask questions like, what's the main thing you want to achieve here? Understanding core needs helps you create a compromise that respects the fundamental priorities of all parties. 3. Introduce a balanced proposal. Present a compromise that addresses both sides. For example, what if we adjust the timeline a bit, but still aim to deliver the main components on time? This shows that you're committed to finding a solution that works for everyone. 4. Demonstrate flexibility. Show that you're willing to adjust your position if needed. For instance, I'm open to extending the timeline slightly if it helps maintain the quality we need. Flexibility fosters trust and keeps the conversation moving forward. 5. Give and take. Be ready to make concessions where you can, while still protecting your core interests. For example, I'm willing to compromise on the budget allocation, but we need to maintain focus on quality. 6. Ensure mutual benefit. Emphasize how the compromise benefits both sides. Say something like, this way, we can meet both the deadline and the quality standards we're aiming for. This keeps the focus on shared success. The bridge method isn't just a negotiation tactic. It's a mindset that values cooperation over conflict. It turns disagreements into opportunities for collaboration and strengthens relationships in the process. Practical takeaway. Make compromise a strength, not a weakness. Here's how you can bring this Stoic principle into your daily interactions. Focus on shared wins. Look for solutions that allow both sides to gain something meaningful. Compromise should feel like progress, not defeat. Be willing to adjust. Approach conflicts with a flexible mindset. Ask yourself, what am I willing to adjust to achieve a better outcome for both of us? This makes you more adaptable and resilient. Communicate clearly. When proposing a compromise, be clear about why it benefits both sides. Use language that emphasizes mutual gains, such as, this compromise helps us both reach our goals. When you learn to embrace the art of compromise, you transform conflicts from power struggles into collaborative efforts. You're not just seeking temporary peace, you're building lasting relationships based on mutual respect. The bigger picture, finding balance in conflict. Imagine two rivers merging into one, each with its own current. While they may flow differently at first, they eventually blend to create a stronger, more powerful stream. Compromise is like that merger. It combines different perspectives into a unified path forward, strengthening relationships and ensuring progress. The next Stoic secret will focus on how to seek external aid without shame, knowing when to bring in a mediator or a third party to resolve complex disputes. If you found this strategy helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with friends who might need a little more compromise in their conflicts. Secrets 9. Seek external aid without shame, harnessing the power of mediation. Imagine you're stuck in a conflict with a colleague, Mark, over a critical project decision. You've tried every tactic, understanding his perspective, finding common ground, and even suggesting compromises. But nothing seems to work. The discussions are going in circles, and the project's timeline is at risk. You're frustrated, and so is Mark. It's clear that a breakthrough won't come from either of you alone. This is when you should remember the 9th Stoic secret. Seek external aid without shame. This principle isn't about weakness or defeat. It's about recognizing when an unbiased perspective is needed to break the deadlock. The Stoics believe that asking for help when needed is not a sign of failure, but of wisdom and strength. Real life shift in perspective. You decide to approach the team manager, Jane, to act as a mediator in your discussions with Mark. Jane is respected by both of you and has experience in conflict resolution. When you suggest this to Mark, he initially resists, seeing it as a loss of control. But you reassure him, I think having Jane involved could help us see things from a fresh perspective and find a solution that works for both of us. It's not about winning or losing, it's about making sure the project succeeds. Mark reluctantly agrees, and Jane steps in. As she facilitates the conversation, she points out areas of misunderstanding that you and Mark hadn't noticed. She asks questions that help clarify your intentions and realigns the discussion towards the project's success. What seemed impossible before, finding common ground, now becomes achievable, thanks to an impartial perspective. The story of Marcus Aurelius and the rebellious governor. Marcus Aurelius once faced a complex rebellion led by a Roman governor who had misinterpreted imperial policies. Attempts to resolve the conflict through direct negotiation failed, as the governor felt personally attacked and defensive. Realizing that his own presence would only escalate tensions, Marcus sought the aid of a respected senator, known for his diplomatic skills. The senator, acting as an unbiased mediator, approached the governor with calm reasoning, clarifying the intentions behind the imperial policies. This external aid helped diffuse the rebellion without bloodshed. Marcus knew that, as emperor, he could have commanded compliance, but he also understood that bringing in a third party wasn't a sign of weakness. It was the wisest course of action for lasting peace. The power of external aid in conflict resolution. Seeking external aid doesn't mean you lack the ability to resolve conflicts yourself. It means you understand the limits of your perspective and the potential benefits of an unbiased viewpoint. Here's how this principle can be applied in different areas of life. In relationships, you and your partner have reached a point where every discussion about a particular issue ends in frustration. You suggest couples therapy not because you're giving up, but because you recognize the value of a professional mediator who can help clarify emotions and facilitate better communication. At work, your team is divided over a major decision that could impact the company's direction. After multiple failed attempts to reach consensus, you propose bringing in an external consultant to provide insights and facilitate discussions. This isn't a sign of poor leadership. It's a strategic decision to bring in expertise that can help break the impasse. With friends, you've had a long-standing disagreement with a close friend that neither of you can seem to resolve. You suggest having a neutral third friend mediate a conversation, ensuring both sides are heard and respected. The help method for seeking external aid. To effectively apply this Stoic secret, use the help method, a structured approach to introduce external aid in conflicts. 1. Humble acknowledgement. Start by acknowledging that you and the other party have reached an impasse. Say something like, I think we both care deeply about this, but we seem to be stuck. maybe an external perspective could help us see things more clearly. This shows that you're open to finding solutions, not just defending your stance. 2. Engage a neutral third party. Choose someone who is respected by both sides and has experience in conflict resolution. It could be a manager, a trusted mutual friend, or a professional mediator. The key is that the person is seen as fair and objective. 3. Listen to their insights. Allow the mediator to lead the discussion. Listen carefully to their observations and suggestions, even if they challenge your perspective. The goal is not to win, but to gain a deeper understanding of the conflict. 4. Promote collaboration. Use the mediator's insights to foster collaboration, not competition. Say things like, based on what Jane suggested, how can we both adjust our approaches to make this work? This shifts the focus from blame to solution building. The help method ensures that seeking external aid is done thoughtfully and constructively, turning potential resistance into acceptance. Practical takeaway: seek support to strengthen solutions. Here's how you can incorporate this Stoic principle into your daily interactions. Identify impasses early. If you sense that a conflict is repeatedly going in circles, consider external aid sooner rather than later. This can prevent escalation and preserve relationships. Frame it as a collaborative step. When proposing external aid, emphasize that it's about finding the best solution together, not about proving who's right or wrong. Respect the mediator's role. Be open to the insights provided by the mediator, even if they challenge your position. Remember, the goal is resolution, not victory. When you seek external aid without shame, you demonstrate true wisdom and strength. You show that you're committed to resolving conflicts in the most effective way possible, even if it means setting aside your ego. The bigger picture: transforming conflicts through collaboration. Imagine a stalemate in a chess game where both players are equally skilled, but neither can see the path to victory. A skilled observer steps in, offering insights that reveal new strategies neither player had considered. By seeking external aid, both players benefit, not just in resolving the current game, but in becoming better players for future challenges. The next Stoic secret will focus on embracing forgiveness as freedom, a powerful technique that liberates both you and your adversary from the chains of resentment. If you found this strategy helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with friends who might need a little more guidance in their conflicts. Secrets 10. Embrace forgiveness as freedom, letting go to move forward. Imagine you've been deeply hurt by a close friend. Maybe they betrayed your trust, said something hurtful, or let you down when you needed them most. The pain lingers, affecting not only your interactions with them, but also your peace of mind. Every time you think of what happened, anger and resentment bubble up, keeping the wound fresh. This is where the 10th Stoic secret comes into play. Embrace forgiveness as freedom. The Stoics believed that forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others. It's about liberating yourself from the burden of resentment. By letting go of past wrongs, you create space for inner peace, growth, and a renewed sense of clarity. Real-life shift in perspective. Let's say your friend Alex borrowed money from you with the promise to pay it back within a month. 6 months have passed, and despite several reminders, Alex still hasn't returned the money. You feel disrespected and hurt, and it's affecting your relationship with him. You've reached a point where the resentment is consuming more of your energy than the debt itself. One day, you decide to let go of the anger. You reach out to Alex and say, "I want to clear the air between us. I know the money situation has caused tension, but I've decided to let it go. I value our friendship more than the debt. Let's move forward with a clean slate." Alex looks surprised, perhaps even relieved. By choosing forgiveness, you've freed yourself from the burden of resentment and opened the door to rebuilding trust, whether or not Alex actually repays the debt. Forgiveness here isn't about condoning what Alex did or allowing him to take advantage of you again. It's about releasing the negative energy that's holding you back. It's about freeing yourself from the mental chains that keep you stuck in the past. The story of Seneca and the conspiring friend. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, faced a similar situation when he discovered that a close friend had conspired against him in the Roman court. Many expected Seneca to retaliate harshly, as the betrayal was both personal and political. But instead, Seneca chose the path of forgiveness. He wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." By forgiving his betrayer, Seneca not only maintained his moral integrity, but also demonstrated the power of inner freedom. The act of forgiveness didn't absolve the friend's wrongdoing, but it released Seneca from the cycle of anger and retaliation, allowing him to focus on his philosophical work and personal growth. Why forgiveness is powerful in conflicts. Forgiveness is not about weakness or surrender. It's about taking back control over your emotions and mental well-being. Here's how this principle applies in different areas of life. In relationships, you've had a serious argument with your spouse over a past mistake. You can choose to hold on to the anger, letting it poison your relationship, or you can decide to forgive, focusing on rebuilding trust and strengthening your bond. Forgiveness here doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing to prioritize the future over the past. At work, a colleague spread false rumors about you, damaging your reputation. You could seek revenge or harbor resentment, but that would only add more stress. Instead, you choose to forgive, making a conscious decision to focus on your own growth and performance, rather than on their actions. This not only improves your peace of mind, but also shows your colleagues that you're mature and resilient. With friends, a friend made a hurtful comment during a gathering, leaving you embarrassed. Instead of dwelling on the insult, you decide to address it openly, then forgive them. You say, "What you said hurt me, but I'm willing to let it go because I value our friendship." This clears the air and reestablishes mutual respect. The release method for practicing forgiveness. To effectively apply the Stoic secret, use the release method, a structured approach to let go of resentment and embrace forgiveness. 1. Recognize the hurt. Acknowledge your feelings of hurt and anger. Denying them only makes them stronger. Reflect on how the situation has affected you, and be honest with yourself about the pain you're feeling. 2. Evaluate the cost. Consider how holding on to resentment is affecting your mental well-being. Ask yourself, is the pain worth the energy it's consuming? Often, you'll find that the cost of resentment is higher than the benefit. 3. Let go of the past. Make a conscious decision to release the anger. This doesn't mean condoning the other person's actions. It means prioritizing your peace over the pain. Use a mental visualization of setting the resentment down like a heavy bag you no longer wish to carry. 4. Empathize with the offender. Try to understand what might have driven the person to hurt you. This doesn't justify their actions, but it can help soften the edges of your anger and make forgiveness more attainable. 5. Act with compassion. If appropriate, express your forgiveness directly to the person. You might say, "I've decided to let go of what happened between us. I hope we can move forward." If direct communication isn't possible or safe, write a letter that you don't send, expressing your forgiveness as a symbolic act. 6. Shift your focus to the future, or redirect your energy towards positive goals, relationships, and personal growth. Emphasize the opportunities that come from letting go of past hurts, rather than dwelling on them. 7. Engage in self-forgiveness. Forgive yourself for any role you might have played in the conflict. Self-forgiveness is just as important as forgiving others, as it allows you to fully release the burden of guilt and regret. The release method guides you through a structured process of forgiveness, helping you transform anger into a more peaceful state of mind. Practical takeaway: forgive to liberate yourself. Here's how you can bring this Stoic principle into your daily interactions. Make forgiveness a daily practice. At the end of each day, reflect on any lingering resentments and actively choose to let them go. Write them down and visualize releasing them from your heart and mind. Use forgiveness as a strength. Remember that forgiving someone doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strong enough to prioritize your peace over your pain. Practice self-forgiveness. Be as kind to yourself as you are to others. Accept that mistakes are part of the human experience, and forgive yourself for past errors to move forward with clarity. When you embrace forgiveness as freedom, You free yourself from the weight of past hurts and open the door to a future of greater peace, understanding, and growth. The bigger picture, turning resentment into resilience. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones, each one representing a past hurt or betrayal. With every step, the weight becomes more unbearable. But when you choose to forgive, you begin to remove the stones one by one. Suddenly, the journey becomes lighter, and you can move forward with greater speed and strength. Forgiveness is the key to unlocking that freedom. The next Stoic secret will focus on how to grow from the ashes of conflict, turning difficult experiences into valuable lessons. If you found this strategy helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with friends who might need a reminder that forgiveness is not just for others, but for themselves. Secrets 11. Grow from the ashes of conflict, turning setbacks into strength. Imagine you've just experienced a serious argument with your boss over a project that went off track. Harsh words were exchanged, and you left the meeting feeling defeated and unappreciated. The sting of the criticism lingers, making you question your abilities. But then you remember the 11th Stoic secret. Grow from the ashes of conflict. The Stoics believed that every setback is an opportunity for growth. Conflicts, no matter how painful, are fertile ground for learning, reflection, and personal transformation. It's not just about enduring hardship, it's about using it as a stepping stone to become stronger and wiser. Real-life shift in perspective. The morning after the argument with your boss, you decide to reflect rather than ruminate. You ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How did my actions contribute to the conflict? What can I do differently next time? As you analyze the situation, you realize that some of your project planning was rushed, leading to errors. You also recognize that your communication with your boss could have been clearer. Instead of sinking into self-pity, you decide to use these insights to improve your skills. You sign up for a time management course and work on your communication strategies. The next time you meet with your boss, you acknowledge the mistakes openly. I realize I could have handled the project better, and I'm working on improving my approach. I appreciate your feedback, even though it was tough to hear. Your boss, seeing your willingness to learn and grow, responds positively. The conflict that initially seemed like a dead end has now become a catalyst for your personal and professional development. The story of Epictetus and the broken leg. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, who was born into slavery, faced physical and emotional abuse from his master. In one infamous incident, his master twisted Epictetus's leg with such force that it broke. Instead of succumbing to despair or anger, Epictetus reportedly said, "If you continue, you will break my leg. And when it breaks, I will not curse you." When his leg indeed broke, Epictetus accepted the pain without complaint. Rather than being consumed by bitterness, he used this brutal experience to deepen his understanding of Stoicism and strengthen his spirit. The injury became a metaphor for his teachings, that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond and grow from it. How to turn conflict into personal growth. Conflicts can be painful, but they are also opportunities to build resilience, improve self-awareness, and refine your skills. Here's how this principle applies in different areas of life. In relationships, you've had a major disagreement with your partner about a recurring issue, like household responsibilities. After the heat of the moment passes, you take time to reflect on why the conflict keeps happening. You recognize that both of you need clearer communication about expectations, so you suggest creating a shared task list to prevent future misunderstandings. By focusing on growth rather than blame, you strengthen the relationship. At work, you receive harsh feedback from your manager about a presentation. Initially, it feels like a personal attack, but you decide to use it as a learning opportunity. You analyze the feedback, improve your presentation skills, and seek advice from a mentor. The next time you present, you do so with more confidence and clarity. With friends, a friend accuses you of being unreliable after you cancel plans multiple times. Instead of getting defensive, you acknowledge the pattern and work on managing your commitments better. You also communicate more clearly with your friend about your availability, turning the conflict into an opportunity for more honest friendship. The GROW method for personal transformation. To effectively apply this Stoic secret, use the GROW method, a 4-step approach to turn conflicts into valuable lessons. 1. Gather insights from the conflict. Reflect on the conflict objectively. Ask yourself, what triggered the disagreement and what could I have done differently? This step is about gathering lessons, not just assigning blame. 2. Reframe the experience. Instead of viewing the conflict as purely negative, reframe it as a learning opportunity. Say to yourself, this setback is a chance to develop my skills and emotional intelligence. This mental shift transforms the way you perceive challenges. 3. Own your part. Take responsibility for your role in the conflict, even if it's just a small part. For example, I could have communicated more clearly, and I'll work on that going forward. Owning your part in the conflict is a powerful step toward personal growth. 4. Work on improvements. Develop an action plan for how you'll respond differently next time. It could involve taking a course, improving your communication, or practicing patience. For instance, if impatience was an issue, you might work on mindfulness techniques to stay calm in heated moments. The GROW method ensures that conflicts become a source of strength rather than a drain on your energy, turning setbacks into setups for greater success. Practical takeaway: transform setbacks into stepping stones. Here's how you can bring this Stoic principle into your daily interactions. Keep a conflict journal. After a conflict, write down what happened, what you learned, and what you'll do differently next time. This simple habit turns painful moments into structured growth experiences. Ask, what's the lesson here? Every time you face a conflict, pause and ask yourself what it can teach you. This shifts your mindset from victim to student, making you more resilient and adaptable. Use conflicts as checkpoints. Instead of viewing conflicts as failures, see them as checkpoints that reveal areas where you can improve. Embrace each conflict as a milestone on your journey to becoming a stronger version of yourself. When you grow from the ashes of conflict, you transform pain into progress. You're no longer just surviving challenges, you're thriving because of them. The bigger picture: building resilience through adversity. Imagine conflict as a fire that initially burns and causes pain, but just like fire tempers steel, it can also strengthen you if you approach it with the right mindset. When you choose to grow from the ashes, you become more resilient, adaptable, and prepared for future challenges. The next Stoic secret will focus on how to set clear boundaries, ensuring that your personal space and peace are respected, even in the midst of conflict. If you found this strategy helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with friends who might need a reminder that growth often comes from the hardest moments. Secrets 12. Set clear boundaries, protecting your peace in conflicts. Imagine you're dealing with a colleague, Sam, who frequently interrupts you during meetings. You've tried to be patient, but it's starting to affect your focus and confidence. You want to address the issue, but worry that confronting Sam might escalate the conflict. This is when you need to apply the 12th Stoic secret. Set clear boundaries. Setting boundaries is not about building walls. It's about defining what is and isn't acceptable in a respectful and assertive manner. Stoicism teaches that you can protect your inner peace by clearly communicating your limits and ensuring they are respected. Real-life shift in perspective. In the next meeting, when Sam interrupts you again, you take a deep breath and assert yourself calmly but firmly. You say, "Sam, I'd like to finish my point, and then I'm happy to hear your thoughts." Sam seems taken aback but doesn't interrupt again. You've drawn a line in the sand. Not to push Sam away, but to ensure that your voice is heard. This small but powerful boundary sets the tone for more respectful communication moving forward. Later, you also take Sam aside privately and clarify your boundary in a non-confrontational way. "I value your input, but I need the space to finish my thoughts during discussions. It helps me contribute more effectively to the team." Sam acknowledges your request, and you notice a gradual improvement in how he interacts with you. By setting a clear boundary, you've not only protected your peace, but also encouraged more respectful behavior from Sam. The story of Marcus Aurelius and the overreaching general. During one of his military campaigns, Marcus Aurelius faced a situation where a general, driven by ambition, overstepped his authority and made decisions without consulting Marcus. Instead of reacting with anger or harsh punishment, Marcus calmly set a boundary. He sent a message to the general, stating, "Your enthusiasm for victory is admirable, but decisions of this magnitude require my approval. Let us maintain the chain of command to ensure the success of our mission." By setting this boundary clearly and respectfully, Marcus not only reaffirmed his authority but also maintained the morale of his troops. The general, aware of Marcus's firm but fair approach, adjusted his behavior, and the campaign continued successfully. Marcus's approach shows that boundaries, when set correctly, don't alienate people. They guide behavior and create clarity. Why setting boundaries is essential in conflicts. Setting boundaries is crucial for maintaining respect, trust, and peace in any relationship. It allows you to define what is acceptable and what isn't, making conflicts less likely to escalate. Here's how this principle applies in different areas of life. In relationships, your partner often makes last-minute plans that disrupt your schedule. You love their spontaneity, but it's causing stress. You say, "I appreciate your spontaneous nature, but I need at least a day's notice for major plans. This helps me manage my time better." By setting this boundary, you show respect for both their preferences and your own. At work, a coworker frequently assigns tasks to you without discussing them first. You address the issue by saying, "I'm happy to help, but I need to be consulted before taking on additional responsibilities. Let's ensure clear communication going forward." This establishes a boundary that prevents burnout while keeping the relationship professional. With friends, a friend tends to call you late at night, disrupting your sleep. You value the friendship but need to prioritize rest. You tell them, "I love catching up, but I need to keep calls before 9 p.m. so I can get enough rest." This boundary helps you maintain your well-being without harming the friendship. The firm method for setting boundaries. To effectively apply this Stoic secret, use the firm method, a structured approach to establish clear boundaries without creating unnecessary conflict. 1F. Focus on your needs. Clearly identify what you need to protect your peace. Ask yourself, what behavior am I no longer willing to tolerate? This clarity helps you set precise boundaries. 2. Inform clearly and calmly. When communicating your boundary, be direct and specific, but maintain a calm tone. For example, "I need to finish my point before others chime in, as it helps me stay clear in meetings." This approach ensures that your message is understood without being confrontational. 3. Reinforce consistently. Once you set a boundary, consistently reinforce it. If someone crosses it again, gently remind them, "Remember, I need a heads up before taking on extra tasks." Consistency is key to ensuring that boundaries are respected over time. 4. Maintain respect and flexibility. While boundaries should be firm, they can be communicated with empathy. Acknowledge the other person's perspective while standing by your needs. For instance, "I know you're eager to share your thoughts, and I'll make sure you have the space to do so after I finish speaking." The firm method ensures that you set boundaries confidently and respectfully, creating a clearer and healthier dynamic in conflicts. Practical takeaway: protect your peace through boundaries. Here's how you can bring this Stoic principle into your daily interactions. Define your boundaries in advance. Before conflicts arise, be clear about your boundaries in different areas of life, at work, in relationships, and with friends. This proactive approach helps you communicate them more effectively. Be consistent, not rigid. Consistency is crucial in setting boundaries, but be willing to adjust them when necessary. For example, if someone needs urgent help, you might bend your usual rules temporarily, but make it clear that it's an exception. Practice self-respect. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect. Remind yourself that protecting your mental and emotional well-being is not selfish. It's essential for healthy relationships and personal growth. When you set clear boundaries, you create a space where respect can thrive. You're not just defending yourself. You're fostering a culture of mutual understanding and healthy interaction. The bigger picture. Creating clarity through boundaries. Imagine a garden with a clear fence around it. The fence doesn't stop the flowers from blooming. It protects them from being trampled. Setting boundaries is like building that fence. It preserves the beauty of your inner peace while allowing relationships to flourish within healthy limits. The next Stoic secret will focus on how to control your reactions, mastering the ability to stay calm and composed even in the face of provocation. If you found this strategy helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with friends who might need a reminder that boundaries are not barriers. They are bridges to better communication. Secrets 13. Control your reactions. The true power lies within. Imagine you're in a meeting where a colleague, David, criticizes your work harshly in front of everyone. You feel a surge of anger, and your initial instinct is to snap back defensively. But then you remember the 13th and final Stoic secret. Control your reactions. The Stoics believed that true power comes not from controlling others, but from mastering your own responses. This principle teaches that we cannot always dictate what happens to us, but we can always choose how we respond. In doing so, we preserve our peace, dignity, and clarity, no matter how chaotic the situation. Real-life shift in perspective. As David continues to criticize, you take a deep breath and remind yourself that reacting impulsively will only escalate the situation. Instead of defending yourself immediately, you maintain eye contact, stay calm, and say, "I appreciate your feedback, David. Let's discuss specific improvements after the meeting to ensure the project aligns with our goals." Your calm response shifts the tone in the room. David, expecting an angry retort, is momentarily surprised. By not taking the bait, you've managed to keep the meeting focused and constructive. Later, when you and David talk privately, you're able to discuss the feedback more openly, without the cloud of anger or resentment. Your choice to control your reaction not only preserves your composure, but also sets a powerful example of emotional intelligence for everyone in the room. You've demonstrated that strength doesn't come from shouting louder. It comes from staying grounded when the storm rages around you. The story of Epictetus and the slaveholder. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, was born into slavery and faced severe mistreatment by his master. Despite the abuse, Epictetus chose to respond not with anger or hatred, but with calm acceptance and inner strength. He famously said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." One day, his master tried to provoke him by twisting Epictetus' leg. Even as the pain intensified, Epictetus warned his master calmly, "If you continue, you will break my leg." When his leg was broken, Epictetus did not curse or scream. Instead, he simply stated, "See, I told you so." This response wasn't about surrendering to the master's cruelty. It was about demonstrating complete control over his own mind, regardless of external circumstances. Epictetus's reaction showed that true power lies in governing oneself, not in changing others. Why controlling your reactions is crucial in conflicts. Controlling your reactions is not about suppressing emotions. It's about channeling them wisely. When you master your responses, you can navigate conflicts with grace and assertiveness, rather than being swept away by impulse. Here's how this principle applies in different areas of life. In relationships, your partner accuses you of being inattentive during an argument. Instead of reacting defensively, you pause, take a deep breath, and say, "I hear what you're saying. Can we talk about this calmly so we both understand each other better?" This response creates space for constructive dialogue instead of escalating the conflict. At work, your boss publicly criticizes your performance. While the comments sting, you choose to remain calm. After the meeting, you approach your boss privately and say, "I'd like to understand more about your feedback so I can improve." This not only preserves your professionalism, but also demonstrates maturity and willingness to learn. With friends, a friend teases you harshly in front of others, causing embarrassment. Instead of lashing out, you respond with a light-hearted joke. "Well, you got me this time, but I'll get you back with my wit." This response keeps the situation friendly and shows that you can handle the teasing with grace. The calm method for controlling reactions. To effectively apply this Stoic secret, use the calm method, a 4-step approach to maintain composure and control your reactions. 1. Center yourself. Take a deep breath before responding. This simple act gives you a moment to gather your thoughts and emotions. Remind yourself, I am in control of my reaction. Centering yourself creates space for a more thoughtful response. 2. Assess the situation. Quickly evaluate whether the situation requires an immediate response, or if it's better to address it later. Ask yourself, is this worth engaging with now, or can it be resolved privately? This helps you decide whether to engage calmly or let it pass. 3. Listen actively. When someone is criticizing or provoking you, focus on listening to what they're saying rather than planning your comeback. This not only keeps you calm but also shows the other person that you're willing to hear their perspective. 4. Mindful response. When you do respond, choose your words carefully. Use I statements to express your perspective without sounding accusatory. For example, I feel that we could approach this differently. This keeps the conversation constructive and focused on solutions. The calm method helps you maintain composure in conflicts, turning potential blow-ups into opportunities for measured responses and mutual understanding. Practical takeaway: master your mind to master conflict. Here's how you can bring the Stoic principle into your daily interactions. Practice the 3-second rule. Before reacting in any conflict, take 3 deep breaths. This simple rule gives you enough time to shift from impulsive reaction to thoughtful response. Use a personal mantra. Create a calming mantra to remind yourself to stay grounded during conflicts, like, my strength is my calm. Repeat it silently to yourself when tensions rise. Role-play tough scenarios. Prepare for difficult conversations by role-playing them with a trusted friend. Practice staying calm and composed, even when provoked, so you're better prepared for real-life conflicts. When you control your reactions, you demonstrate true power. You become a person who shapes their own responses, rather than being shaped by circumstances, conflicts, or other people's behaviors. The bigger picture: finding peace within the storm. Imagine yourself as a ship in the middle of a stormy sea. While you can't control the wind or the waves, you can control the direction of your sails. By mastering your reactions, you become like that ship, steady, resilient, and able to navigate through the roughest waters without losing course. This is the final Stoic secret, completing the journey of mastering conflict through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Remember, the ultimate battle is not against others, but within ourselves. If you found this series helpful, please like this video, subscribe to Stoic Mindset, and share it with others who could benefit from learning how to master life's challenges with inner strength and calm.